Today I'm going to talk about the double bass mystery. This is a history that starts from the Pennywaite's view. She is a 26 years old double bass player in the Barcelona Symphony Orchestra. She was on her first trip to Barcelona for a concert when the story starts or when the story takes place. During his her journey from Great Britain to Spain, the entire orchestra group took a direct flight from Boston to Barcelona, but they sent their instruments by road because it was cheaper. Big mistake because at the moment they checked the truck where their instruments were, it was everything okay until they found that the Penny's bus wasn't there. At that moment, Penny discussed with everyone, but they didn't know anything about it, so they figured that they steal it in some point of his travel. Well, Penny was without a bus. The next day, they discussed that topic. Simon, who was Penny's boyfriend, told her that he can't play because was wrong with his hand, but apparently it was nothing wrong. But Penny said okay because she wanted to play the bass. Okay, more later, Adriana appeared. Adriana is a player in the orchestra too. Uh, she asked them if they have plans to do, and they didn't have to do nothing, so they she invited them to the beach, and they were like in the hotel reception. In Penny was reading something about stealing. A picture was tilted in some point of the history. That picture was called the gardener, and Frank comment that a police officer called Portillo took the case, and he told that he will find the double bass from Penny. In the day of their first concert, mm, Penny was playing the double bass and she was happy because she has a role in their concert, and Simon was just seeing how it was going. But Simon looked a little suspicious. He was on stage the first half of the concert, but when they went for the break, Simmons told Penny that he wanted to be at the back. That was a little weird. That he mentioned it that is because he wanted to hear differently, but his foolish thing. Okay, Penny just say okay, whatever, and Simon do whatever he wanted. So at the end of the concert, Penny was looking for Simon, but anyone know where he was? So she left the place and arrived to his room alone and just slept. In the middle of that night, uh, Penny was hearing screams coming from the outside of his room. So she was scared about the screams, but she left his room and go to saw the scene. She found that Frank was dead in the floor, like if he was thrown from the up of the build. Then Inspector Portillo arrived to the scene and he just was like, we can't uh, change the thing that he's dead now, so just go to bed again and we will ask to you what happened in the morning. Just to be a little fast, in summary, Inspector Portillo make the interrogation to the suspects in the morning, and when it was Penny's turn, Inspector asked her about the Simon's behavior. She didn't tell him that Simon was a little suspicious, but in the second interrogation, Inspector Portillo uh, told Penny that Simon was acting weird and his statements was not coherent. From other point of view, there were like the orchestra players were just arguing to each other that maybe someone killed Frank, like Candida and Marilyn. Candida was shouting at Marilyn that she killed Frank because uh, was the mistress of Frank, but Candida said that she she loved her more, so Marilyn in and love act with Frank in some way. But the situation just get clear when the Inspector Portillo said, or when he shared the idea of his observations, and he he talked about the guilt of Simon in the stealing of the gardener. And the fact was that indeed Simon was one of the thieves of the gardener. A familiar of Simon was a police guard in the museum where they took it. And then he was talking about money when Frank just heard it. So Frank uh, called to the police and he told them that Simon was the gardener thief. Then Frank go to discuss to Simon by herself, but it was so foolish because Simon just was like, oh my god, he catch me, and then he pushed it off out of the window, and it was that killed Frank. That was the mystery. Simon was Frank's killer. Then it was a case solved, but the other case was the penny double bus and where it was. Uh, Penny was walking around the street when when she saw the double bus being offered by a woman that told her she bought it before, but she was buying again. So she bought the double bus and she was pennies with double bus again. It was. And then she fell in love with Inspector Portillo. So that was all. I appreciated the attention and I'm Jorge. Have a nice night.